Now that is a 40 Mercury coupe.
Oh.
Missing, the only thing it's missing is a hood. But it's in pretty rough shape. But it's a 40 Merc. And
Right.
it's all there. Except for the hood.
Very
I found
cool.
a grill for it. The grill was missing. Well, the grill and the hood were taken off to put in a 40 Merc Roadster. A guy who lives in Newburgh up here built a real beautiful red 40 Merc convertible. He brings it over to the all Ford meet every year usually. And I found this out behind his shop all covered with blackberries. I couldn't even see the car. I just knew there was a car there. Because of the shape.
Sure.
I started digging and I got looking in there and I said, what is this? This ain't no Ford. At first I thought it's Ford, but I said, nah, this ain't no Ford. And he says, that's a 40 Merc. I bought it just for the grill and the hood. And he pointed it outside and let it fucking rot.
Can't believe it.
Well, he covered it up a couple of times because he had 3 or 4 layers of plastic tarps and all rotted away. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway.
All the tarp strings all over the yard.
Dave, why don't you grab that bar and lay it over there on the floor, and we'll roll this back. I'll have you help me recover it, and I just covered this up today.
Oh, cool.
I'll take out this part and get an idea what the rest is. $351 Windsor, not anymore. $409.
Oh.
And this fucker is fast.
I bet it is.
Only weighs 2,100 pounds.
I'm surprised it even weighs that.
Let's go ahead and take this off, Dave.
Yeah, because my VW only weighs 16.
We can put it back on in a minute, and he can get a decent picture. Set that on the edge there behind you. And uncover it here quick enough. 2 of us makes it easy. I worked this morning on it. I come out to check on it, and I got some corrosion starting on
On the brass.
no, not the brass, that's fine. But on the intake and the
The aluminum.
the aluminum.
Oh, that white stuff or whatever.
Yeah, corrosion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sprayed it all with the gun preservative I use on my guns.
Sure.
Because it's it's not a solvent, it's a oil base.
Well, even the motor mount and all the lines and.
All custom built, the whole car.
Very cool.
You know, and you tell somebody, well, he's got a tea bucket, they all get a picture of a car like this
Right.
with a big top. You can see, this is the height of this car, the highest point. When you're in it, your elbow's about 2 feet off the ground.
This one's more of a. Not Mel's got a tea bucket. Mel's got a street dragster.
That's right. It actually, when you come right down to it, this is really more of a dragster.
Yeah.
A shortened dragster, but a
Because
dragster.
holy smoke.
This suspension, if you notice, is the kind they use on a lot of dragsters.
Yeah.
Fixed friction shocks, but all the coil spring is in here. There's 2 coil springs in there.
Oh, in the tube?
And
Like a
when
torsion
the
bar?
axle bumps up, that coil spring runs the bar.
I see. That's cool.
That is super cool. And that's
Yeah.
all handmade.
Did you make
All
that?
this, huh?
Did you build the car?
No, this is Dwayne Barnes, the same guy that had the Model A. I bought both cars out of the state
Oh, okay.
from his son.
So this is the one that was on the lift and stuff, right?
On the lift.
Everybody always talked about. He had it on a stand or something.
Well, he built it on a steel table,
Yeah.
but he kept it in that 2-story little white building on the outside of his shop there. You know where you drive into the cemetery in Dayton?
Kind of.
Well, it's on the right-hand side as you drive into the cemetery. That was Dwayne's house.
When did he build it?
The car?
Mhm.
Well, it's been built twice actually, and I'll show you some of the stuff later. He had to build it in did they come out with 351 Windsors? A long time ago.
Been in the 70s, early 70s.
I'm thinking early 70s. He built it, and it had a turtle deck and fiberglass.
Oh,
And so that brass radiator had a 32 grill that had been cut into 6 pieces and all welded back together and re-smoothed up. So it was a miniature 32 grill on the front.
wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this here is a brake light. That's how you get to it.
Oh, cool.
And this is your fuel tank, of course, battery, and a toolbox.
That's about all you need.
Yeah. He used to take this car all the way up to Long Beach every year on a trailer. A couple of years, and then he started taking it up there with a little trailer he built to pull behind this. He put all his camping gear, camping stuff in the trailer, and go up to Long Beach every year to the end of the world.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
I did End of the World. I went to End of the World, I think, for 30 years. And now 30 years, I only missed 2 years. The first one because I didn't know it was happening. And the second one because my daughter picked that weekend to get married.
Yeah. Oh.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep.
You married?
No, no, I got a wonderful woman of 7 years though.
No, I got a wonderful woman. I'm not married neither, and I've been with her 25 to 26.
That's how you do it.
Guess what?
Why change a good thing?
Guess what? She does her own car work. That 57 out here in the driveway is hers, one of her cars
That's great.
that she's working on right now.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's hard to find a woman that
Yep.
will do that. And she's a gun person because she come out of a family of 4 kids, and she was the oldest girl, 3 girls and a boy. She was the only one that went hunting and fishing with her dad.
Cool.
And she's a good shot.
You got the right one.
Yeah. Let's throw this stuff back on now, Dave, if we could.
Yeah.
Everything else, we want to look at all we have to part to pull off. Now, I don't know what Dave told
You
me.
got all this back on there?
I don't know what Dave told you, but I'm going to be selling a bunch of cars.
Yeah, whatever you want to sell, you can. We'll film it. You can tell me about it, and I'll get it out there at least to whoever sees my
I
content.
know how to run a computer, but I'm not real proficient at it.
Sure.
I had to learn the computer early because they brought them into the sheet metal and construction trades. No, this was, yeah, that's where that was. Just like that, you got it.
And then that was over the.
Yep. Keep moisture off of it. And so I learned the basics of using a computer. Of course, I learned just the stuff I needed for work. I've never sold a car on the computer because I'm not real familiar with it.
Right.
I've got friends that'll do it for me.
The more.
Well, you see, I haven't been trying to sell any cars until recently
Right.
at all.
Well,
I've sold, in the last 2 years, I've sold 3 cars, and one of them I bought back. Well, the guy did a whole bunch of work on it, spent a bunch of money on it, he done all the mechanical work on it. And for the money that I got it back for, he worked for $10 an hour. That ain't hard to figure out.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on. Now it's going to be hard to get any pictures in here, but I want you to take a peek.
Okay.
This is the last car I bought at the April Squat Meet in Portland. This is a, Dave, you want to grab that light that I had?
Yeah, sure.
We can see a lot more. This is a one-owner car. He'll bring that light and then see it.
Okay.
Now these are not perfect cars, but they're all originals.
Yeah.
55 Victoria. There's a Continental kit I had found years ago at a swap meet. I threw it in here so it'd go with the car if I ever got ready to sell it. Catch that corner right there. This car, 55 Victoria, 272 V8 4-barrel. I'm going to let you hang on to that,
Okay.
so because you're listening.
Sure.
And, this car was sold in Eugene, Oregon. A guy and his wife wanted a new car, and she wanted a convertible, and her husband said, you can buy anything at the dealership except the convertible. So she goes into the dealership all by herself and looks around. She decides she's going to have a Vicky, and she bought it. That's the sign off the dealership out there.
Oh, up on top of the
Yes.
container. I saw that.
The dealership sign was on the Eugene Ford dealership. And it was used both at the car dealership, and it was mounted on a wall. And when it was taken down, it had been on a tractor dealership.
Wow,
That's why it's red on the back, it's tractors.
that's pretty cool.
And, okay, watch your step in here.
I didn't know you had those.
Now, all four of these cars are one owners. I bought them all from the original owners.
Oh, okay.
And
From the same owner, or they
that
all
car
have?
over there, I had bought before I moved down here by several years. These three I bought right here,
Oh,
down here in the lower part of the valley. 55 Mercury Monterey, two-door hardtop. No cancer, no dents. Let's see what's in the back door here. More parts, should be some parts in there, right? Extra parts.
yeah, this thing's in great, amazing condition.
Hey girl, by the way, what do you think of my mouse traps? I learned that from a friend of mine. See my mouse traps?
Oh yeah,
Buckets with water and a,
they work perfect, don't they?
oh man, I've got so many mice. I got a big rat net the other day. Okay, this one came out of Amity. Bought it from a farmer. I was up at they'd redone the sewer lines, water lines in Yam Hill. And the town decided to have a car show and feed everybody. And if you took a car there, you got into the feed for nothing. So I took one of my cars up there, and this old guy come over, was looking at it. He says, we talked a little bit, and he says, you know, I got a 55 Mercury out at my place I'd like to sell. I says, well, how far are you out of town? Oh, he says 2 miles. And I figured I was going to go out and look at something either behind the barn or in the barn, you know, all bad shape. This was in a barn, but it wasn't no old barn. And the guy had money. He's a ryegrass farmer. And he had about 30 cars lined up along the wall. And he had like 5 or 6 Buicks out of the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
He had a batch of Volkswagens. And none of it's there anymore, of course, because I've had this car ever since I moved here. I've had this car 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
This car I've only had maybe 3, 4 years, about 4 years. This car is an actual barn find too. This one's a barn find. This one came a mile down the road here in a little 2-car size little old barn, non-painted, you know, old barn. In that barn was this car, and this was Clement Everett. That was the guy's name. He passed away last year. He's almost 90.
Wow, look at that one.
This car was put in that little barn in 1959 with 82,000 miles on it, I think. Drivable. And this car was bought for him by his folks when he graduated from high school. It was his high school graduation present.
Way cool.
That dash is beautiful.
It
The
is.
paint on that.
So's the poster.
Look at the
Wow.
seat.
I got the back seat inside, so it's safer.
Sure. Wow.
Now look at here. Here's something different. Look at the quality of that white paint. And I did wash it and buff it. But look how good a condition that paint is, and look at this paint. The yellow was a much poorer mix, apparently, because it leashed, can't say it. It rusted through the paint.
Yeah.
The paint absorbed moisture over there, and it rusted through. And I've seen that on other cars.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this
It's
car.
in great shape too, though. Amazing.
This car is just a 67 Galaxy. 390 car, 67 Galaxy. Yeah, it's been sitting here a long time.
I love the wheels.
Those are rare wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And the bad thing about them is they use a off-centered lug nut. Two-piece lug nut that's off-centered, so you can use the wheels on several different bolt patterns.
Oh, the Unilug. Yeah. Look at that exhaust. That's cool.
Yeah, Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And this car, it's kind of rare because guess what? It's got factory air ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah, airlift before the Mexicans start using it.
Sure. That one's in great shape too.
Yeah.
What year is this one?
67.
67. I love it.
This car is really in really good condition.
Mm-hmm.
So these metal roofs sweat.
Yeah, they'll drip condensation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, watch your shins there. The dust is sticking out.
Okay.
I get it every once in a while. I forget. Here's something that's unusual. Let's see where we're at here. That's a Thunderbird motor. Oh, I know, those are in low touches. I have two 292 engines that have steel cranks, factory steel cranks, sodium-filled stainless steel valves. And guess where they come from? They were a commercial engine that they used on farms and ranches. And the two I got came from Idaho, and they were used in the orchards to keep the frost off.
Oh, wow.
Windmill
That's cool.
engines. I have two of those.
That's pretty neat. You don't see that.
No, they're kind of different. Okay, let's go out and back. There's the car I just painted the sign for.
And that one's for sale.
Yep. By the way, that car will run, but you can't drive it because it hit a curb and bent the drag link and one of the other rods on this side of the car.
That's not too bad of a fix.
No, and there's a whole front clip, 2 doors and trunk lid that go with it, and a grill.
Okay.
Extras. All go with it. $3,500.
All right. I'll get that out there and let everyone know.
And this car was ran when it was parked, which has been, the last time it was run was 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Same with that car. And that's a high performance 352
Oh.
with big dual exhaust and a big carburetor, 4-barrel.
I love the FE engines.
Yeah, guess who else loves them? One of
You.
the best builders in the United States lives not far from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dave knows who I'm talking about, don't you, Dave? Paul Gray.
Paul Gray, yeah.
Paul's been building motors ever since he was 18 years old. He apprenticed in a shop in Oregon City. I met him there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That thing's in great shape too. Straight.
Well, it is and it isn't. You look at the other side. They got in a wreck at one time, and they cut out the quarter panel and welded in a piece, the old-fashioned way with a torch.
Right.
All the glass is good except the windshield, and you can buy those easy enough. And the T-Bird, all the glass is good. I think it's still all good.
Looks like it.
Yeah. You don't have buying glass for this car. If somebody wanted one of these to restore, this would be an easy restore.
Yeah.
It really would be, because you wouldn't have to buy any parts for it. Basically, I even got this piece. See, that takes care of this.
Right.
And now, keep a look in here. There's no rust on this.
On the body. It's just on the cowling.
Just on this piece. And what happened, this car was covered up with tarps for a long time and it sweated it.
Oh.
I had to buy this car to get an Oldsmobile I've got. I had to buy both cars. I would have never bought this car because it's not a car I like the style of.
Sure.
Although, in the last couple of years, I've seen there's a couple of these around here, and they're all redone and painted. And there is one of them that's absolutely gorgeous. It's lime fire green and black, two-tone. And it's beautiful. One of the Cherry City Bombers owns it.
Yeah, you don't see them around too much.
No, although there's two of them right out here in this neighborhood that are restored that people drive. You haven't seen all this. This is because of that. I got to get all the water off that pad out in front of the shop and run it to the creek. And I've been laid up for a while, and my boy that was helping me, I got him helping me, and he's a good kid. He's real strong senior in high school. That is the wood shed for the shop. We haul our own garbage because I don't like to pay the big price they got for hauling it.
Yep, I understand.
Here's the trailer that goes with the tea bucket.
Oh yeah, it matches just right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All hand built. All done. And back here is, actually it's not a turtle deck, it's a box.
Oh.
It was a pickup roadster.
Cool. That's neat.
This is a rust-free, I should say cancer-free, 59 T-Bird, white one. And it's straight. Pretty nice, huh?
Very nice.
I'm never going to do them, so, I need to move some of them.
Sure.
That's what happens when you live too long.
You're still in good enough shape. You got the quality.
I hope I get a couple more of them finished.
Yeah.
I say the goal is to die young as late as possible.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. That's a good
I like
saying.
that.
I like that. Guess what's in there? There's something that tells you what's in there if you're looking at it.
Airplane?
That's right. It's a 1917 World War II Newport fighter.
Wow.
But it's a
1917.
reproduction. It's one of those that you buy a book and then you buy all the parts to build it yourself.
Sure. That's cool.
You can build you a couch out of that.
Oh, that's just a spare. I bought that from a young fellow over here on Highway 22. He was parting out two T-Birds.
That's
They
really
were
cool.
the cars were mostly, they weren't good enough to restore at all. But that rear end was good, and I wanted the tail lights, so I bought it. It was like $50.
Can't beat that.
No.
Nope.
But anyway, I got that with I was never going to fly it, but I got it. I wanted to build the wings for it and cover it all in an aluminum instead of fabric, and then just set it out here where all the wood is right now in the summertime so kids could play on it and look at it.
Sure.
I got grandkids. 55 bread truck.